Hi, I'm Jess Gates. I'm an associate in the construction and engineering team at Walker Morris. This video focuses upon situations where an adjudicator might be found to have exceeded their jurisdiction and considers whether an adjudicator's decision can be severed during enforcement proceedings, so that a court will only enforce part of the decision. There are limited grounds upon which an adjudicator's decision may be challenged in the courts. Typically, the court will automatically enforce an adjudicator's decision unless the party seeking to resist enforcement can demonstrate that there was either a material breach of natural justice or that the adjudicator had exceeded their jurisdiction. Typically, a jurisdictional challenge to resist enforcement of an adjudicator's decision may relate to one of the following grounds: circumstances where the adjudicator determined a dispute that was not referred, or where the adjudicator goes too far and goes beyond the dispute referred. An example of this is where the adjudicator was asked to determine entitlement to an extension of time, but then went on to also direct payment of liquidated damages, which had not been requested by either of the parties. The second ground is where the adjudicator does not give reasons for their decision, or because their reasons are inadequate. The courts have said that this ground will only succeed if the adjudicator gave no reasons at all, or where the reasons were so incoherent that it was impossible for the reasonable reader to make sense of them. A case where this challenge succeeded was where the adjudicator made no reference to a set-off counterclaim defence, and so it was not clear whether the adjudicator had actually considered and then dismissed this defence, or whether they had simply ignored it. Historically, the courts took the approach that if one part of the adjudicator's decision was flawed, then the entire decision would not be enforceable. It was all or nothing. It wasn't possible to sever the good parts of the decision from the bad. However, the courts now take a more flexible approach, and the position now is that a successful objection in respect of one part of the decision will not undermine the validity of the rest of the decision. So in those circumstances, the court could sever the non-binding parts of the adjudicator's decision and only enforce a part of it. Examples of this include where the adjudicator was held to not have jurisdiction to deal with 2 out of 12 issues in a disputed account. The remaining 10 issues were enforced by the court. Another example is enforcing a decision relating to an extension of time, but declining to enforce the findings relating to payment of liquidated damages. And finally, the last example I will mention is where the adjudicator's decision included some design fees from a separate agreement between the parties. Those fees were severed from the adjudicator's decision. We help our clients to draft adjudication documents in such a way that reduces exposure to jurisdictional challenge, and to ensure that in the event that part of the decision is challenged in any subsequent enforcement proceedings, that the relevant part can be severed whilst the remaining findings of the adjudicator remain enforceable. If you would like any advice or further information regarding adjudication, please get in touch. And if you are interested in keeping up to date with all things adjudication, please sign up to our monthly bulletin, Adjudication Matters.